Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Tonight I'm going to talk about the sun care line that doTERRA has. So their summer sun line. And then I'll touch briefly on one new product that's coming that's not available quite yet. And so we'll just get started here. All right. So when you think about summer, there's probably different things that are on your bucket list of things to do in the summer. I know ours, as soon as it starts to get warm outside and sunny, we start doing a lot more things outside. We like to go to the pool, we like to go for walks, we like to go to softball games. And so sun care and taking care of our skin is something that I care about when I'm thinking about taking care of my kids. So when it comes to the sun is our friend. It is essential to our life on this earth. It provides warmth for our bodies. It provides the daylight that we need, and it helps to control the chemicals and the hormones in our bodies. So it helps our bodies to create serotonin, which helps with our improved mood. It's one of the reasons why in the winter they talk about the winter blues. It's because there's not a lot of sunshine, and so people have varying serotonin levels and can get kind of the winter blues or like a depression in the wintertime. And then when the sun starts coming out, then their mood starts improved. And I know I see that just in myself that I start to have an improved mood and more energy when the sun is shining. It also helps with the production of melatonin, and melatonin is something that is necessary to help our circadian rhythms. So we sometimes people take melatonin to help them sleep at night, but just being out in the sun and letting the sun regulate that is also very beneficial. So the melatonin helps tell our bodies when it's time to sleep at night. So being out in the sun helps our bodies naturally regulate that. And that's really what we want, as much natural regulation as possible instead of synthetic chemicals and hormones and stuff. And then it helps us to synthesize vitamin D, and we need that to help promote calcium absorption and other hormone regulation in our body. So the vitamin D we get from the sun. So when it comes to the sun, we want to avoid too much of a good thing. So as I talked about, sun does a lot of things for us, and it is a good thing. But when we get to the point that our skin is getting burned from it, or blistered, things like that, that's when we can get into the area where it starts to cause skin cancer and other damage. And so that's when we want to provide some protection from the sun. So, some of the things that are risk factors then when we're exposing our skin to the sun is skin cancer, sunspots, wrinkles, premature aging, and loss of elasticity in our skin. So there's many things that we can do to help minimize the strength of the sun as it's hitting our skin, especially if we're going to be out for long periods of time. And so we can get into shade when we're outside, getting under a tree, having an umbrella or something that we're sitting under, just finding shade anywhere out there, especially between the times of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's when the sun is the strongest during that time frame. And to wear protective clothing, even just having a really light, I always say white layer of clothing, like a light long sleeve t-shirt, a light layer of pants is very helpful. When you're wearing things that are very dark colors like black, that attracts the sun. And so you'll be a lot hotter out in the sun wearing black than you would be wearing white or light clothing. Wearing sunglasses also helps with if it's got the UV protection on it, that can also help to protect your eyes. Wearing a wide brimmed hat, I don't have one of those. Usually if I'm out and I'm wanting to protect my skin, I'll wear like a baseball cap, but wearing a wide brimmed hat helps to give you shade underneath on your neck and your shoulders. And so that's also very helpful. And then using sunscreen that is SPF or higher and reapplying that often. And so I will talk about that, the difference in the SPF of the sunscreen. When I purchased commercial products before I started buying doTERRA's products last summer, I always bought at least 50 SPF. And then I did this education and learned that when you're buying SPF, SPF 15 provides about 93% protection from the sun. When you buy 30 SPF, that gives us about 97% protection from the sun. And once you go up from there, there's very minimal change in the percentage that it protects us from the sun. So, you know, when you're looking for sunscreen, you know, if it costs a lot more money to buy a 50 SPF or an 80 SPF, it's really not worth that extra money that it costs to get that SPF, because there's really not much of a difference. If you're using at least SPF 15, you're getting at least 93% coverage. If you're using 30, you're getting a 97% coverage. So, I didn't know the difference between a chemical sunscreen and a mineral sunscreen when doTERRA first came out with their sun products. So I did want to talk about that tonight, because I feel like that's a big reason why I love doTERRA's sunscreen so much, now that I know what the difference is. So chemical sunscreens are designed to absorb the sun's rays and protect your skin. But mineral sunscreens reflect those UV rays back and protect your skin. And so there's 3 different reasons why you would want to avoid the chemical sunscreen filters. So chemical sunscreen filters, when you're applying them to your skin, they eventually degrade as they're exposed to the UV rays, and they generate free radicals in our body. So when we have a lot of free radicals in our body, that is what causes aging to occur in our body. So that's what gives us the wrinkles, that's what gives us the gray hair, that's what gives us just all of the signs of aging, is the free radicals that our bodies have been exposed to over the years. And so some people, and that's why some people age more than others, is because of the free radicals in their bodies. Some of the active ingredients that are in chemical sunscreens can act as hormone disruptors. And hormone disruptors can work on males and females on their endocrine system, especially. So, you know, regulating periods, affecting childbirth and stuff later, affecting our ability to sleep. All those hormones can get disrupted when we're using chemical sunscreens. And then it can also cause skin allergies when we're using chemicals, because a lot of times the chemicals that are in sunscreens are synthetic, which means that they're created in a lab. They're not natural products. And so when they're created, sometimes those creations can cause allergies and skin issues. So one of my goals when I started using doTERRA was to reduce the toxins and the toxicity that my body is exposed to on a daily basis. So a toxin would be anything that we're placing on our body or breathing in that places our body onto unnecessary stress. So when our body is functioning properly and we're minimizing that toxic load, our bodies just get better at managing the toxins and getting rid of them. So, you know, we want to control the amount of toxins and stuff that we're putting in our body every place. And I've talked about this before when I've done some teaching on reducing toxins in our bodies, that we're exposed to it in our foods, we're exposed to toxins in our laundry soap, we're exposed to it in our fragrances, that, you know, our perfumes and stuff that we put on, we're exposed to it in our makeup, our hair care products, all of those things. So when we can swap out those products for products that don't have the toxins in them, that can make a huge difference in how our body feels and how we look and how we just overall function. Okay, so with sunscreen, what we're looking for, where we don't want it to be getting absorbed into the skin and disrupting hormones and causing allergens, then is the mineral sunscreen filters. So basically, a mineral sunscreen filter is working as a barrier. So you're applying it to the skin, it's giving you a barrier to the sun, and it reflects those UVA and UVB rays, and it doesn't degrade when it's getting exposed to those UV rays. And once you put it on, it's effective immediately, where some types of sunscreen you have to wait so long before you can get in the water or things like that. With doTERRA sunscreen, as soon as you put it on, it's effective and it's safe for all skin types. So babies, regular adults, elderly, it's safe for all skin types. So, Amy, I don't know if you brought your sunscreen to take a look at the bottle of any sunscreen that you've had before, but I'm sure that my sunscreen in the past has had things like the benzene in it or the oxybenzone, parabens, phthalates, dyes, nanoparticles, all of those things I'm sure has been in my sunscreen in the past because I just would pick up whatever was cheapest at the store and put it on my kids' skin. The one thing I did know for my kids is that I could not use the spray sunscreen on my kids. They would like blister burn as soon as they would get into the sun if I tried to use the spray sunscreen on them. And so it has to be from the chemicals that are in the spray. But any of even the lotions that are out there have these benzenes and oxybenzenes and stuff in them. So the great thing about doTERRA's sunscreen products is that they don't have any of those, but they do have SPF 30. If you're using the stick for, if you're doing like cheeks and nose and stuff with the doTERRA Face and Body stick, it has an SPF of 40 in it. It's a broad spectrum protection, which means it's for UVA and UVB sunlight rays. It's water resistant, so you can get in the water with it on. And it's soothing to the skin. It's lightweight, it's moisturizing, and it's reef safe. So I'll talk about that in a minute, what reef safe means. That was a new concept to me too. I didn't know what reef safe meant until I did some of the training on this. So I'm just gonna go over some of the ingredients that are in these products and why, as a lover of essential oils, why I love doTERRA skin products. So the skincare products have frankincense in them, helichrysum in them, and carrot seed oil. And frankincense is so good at reducing inflammation in the skin. And so that, especially when it comes to the after sun product, is such a great ingredient to have, but it's in all of the products. It's also very nourishing to your skin. They also have raspberry seed oil, avocado oil, and jojoba esters, as well as shea butter and cocoa butter, and then aloe vera, red algae extract, and the hyaluronic acid. And then the things that make them soothing when you're putting them on your skin is the best. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. The bisobolol and the turmeric extract. The turmeric extract would help to decrease the inflammation that's going on in the skin. Aloe vera, which is very soothing to the skin, and the Arnica montana flower. So when it comes to being reef safe, this was a new thing that I had not heard of before, but depending on where you're traveling in the world, sometimes you have to have reef safe sunscreens because of swimming in the ocean and there being reef there. And so you can't use products that are damaging to the reef. And so that was a new concept to me. I'd never heard that before. So reef safe or reef friendly means that it doesn't have that oxybenzone in it, and it doesn't have the actinoxate in it. And those two chemicals cause coral bleaching. And when the coral is still alive, that coral bleaching causes it to be under severe stress, and it can make it susceptible to disease and death. And so all of the doTERRA products are reef safe. So you could use them when you're traveling around the world and not have to worry about any of the restrictions that may come from, being in the ocean somewhere in a reef safe area. All right, so the Sun Care, the body mineral lotion has all of those three ingredients that we talked about, the helichrysum, the frankincense, and the carrot seed oil. It is an SPF of 30 and provides both UVA and UVB broad spectrum protection, so both of those rays. And then it's water resistant for up to 80 minutes before you would need to reapply. So that's quite a long time. The mineral sunscreen spray also is SPF 30, and it provides the UVA and UVB broad spectrum protection. It also is good for up to 80 minutes before you would need to reapply it again. And it is packaged in an aluminum non-aerosol spray bottle. And you can, kind of flip it over, do it all different kinds of angles to spray it, and it will still come out. I like that it's non-aerosol. Sometimes when I spray aerosols, I start to get where I feel like maybe I'm short of breath. And so I like the fact that it's non-aerosol. The face and body stick, this is a great one, especially with kids, just to be able to just grab the stick and, rub it on their face, like on their cheeks or their nose, on their forehead, just to slide that stick across. It has an SPF of 40 in it, and it provides both UVA and UVB broad spectrum protection. And it protects the skin from pollution. So, different things that might be in the air when we're outside. In the middle of Iowa, there's not as much pollution as there would be, say, in like San Francisco or Los Angeles, but it's still something that we need to be aware of. And it is water resistant for up to 80 minutes before you would need to reapply it again. And it's got that little twist up tube. So it's kind of like a deodorant where it just twists up and then you can apply it. This is the restorative body mist. So this would be for soothing the skin. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long and you need to soothe the skin afterwards. And so it's got nourishing benefits for the skin. It still has the frankincense and helichrysum, but then it also has copaiba in there, which is a pain reliever. It has lavender in there, which is very soothing for the skin, especially for burns. Peppermint in there, which also helps. That gives it kind of a cooling sensation. And then blue tansy as well, which also helps with soothing. All right. So, when you go through your swim bag this year and you're looking to see what products you might have that may need to be replaced with doTERRA's Sunline, we have you covered. There's different products available. So these are the 4 sun products. doTERRA is also going to be coming out with a moisturizer for our face that will have the SPF in it as well. And that also helps to protect against the blue light, from a cell phone. Even the blue light from a cell phone can cause us to age prematurely. I was not aware of that. And so the moisturizer that will be coming this spring has SPF in it. It's something that you could incorporate as part of your daily routine. You could, wash your face with the face wash and then put on this new moisturizer that's coming that has the SPF in it. It helps protect against UVA and UVB sun rays. I believe, if I remember correctly, that it's also an SPF 30. And like I said, it protects against the blue light, even from cell phones and computers and different devices like that can cause premature aging as well. Okay. I'm just going to shut this down here.